Now let's take a look at the myth of Prometheus. You'll notice in orange, I identified some of the elements, key elements of mythology that we see here in this story. So you might have to refer back to page 1 with that nonfiction article. In purple, I defined some words I thought you might want to know. And then in yellow highlight is just our evidence that matches our elements, and that's going to help you in writing the essay. So pay attention to what I annotated there for you. Prometheus could not bear to see his people suffer, and he decided to steal fire. Though he knew that Zeus would punish him severely, he went up to Olympus, took a glowing ember from the sacred hearth, and hid it in a hollow stalk of fennel. He carried it down to earth, gave it to mankind, and told them never to let the light of Olympus die out. No longer did men shiver in the cold of the night, and the beasts feared the light of the fire and did not dare attack them. A strange thing happened. As men lifted their eyes from the ground and watched the smoke from their fires spiraling upward, their thoughts rose with it up to the heavens. They began to wonder and think, and were no longer earth-bound clods. They built temples to honor the gods, and wanting to share what they had with them, they burned the best pieces of meat on their altars. So essentially, with Prometheus giving humans fire, so they say that humans started to think, started to become intelligent, and Zeus isn't going to like that because he liked when they all just followed what he wanted them to do. When you think about earthbound clods, I think of like cavemen type creatures. Zeus was furious when he first saw the fires flickering on earth, but he was appeased when the savory scent of roast meat reached his nostrils. All the gods loved the smell of the burnt offerings. It spiced their daily food of ambrosia and nectar. But Prometheus knew how hard men worked to make their living, and thought it a pity that they burned up the best parts of their food. He told them to butcher an ox and divide the meat into 2 equal heaps. In one were the chops and the roast, hidden under sinews and bones. And the other were scraps and entrails covered in snow-white fat. So essentially, Prometheus is helping humans to trick the gods by putting all their good meat in one pile and their bad meat in another, but then covering the bad with good and the good with bad so that the gods won't know what's underneath. Prometheus then invited Zeus to come down to earth and choose for himself which part he wanted for his burnt offerings. Zeus, of course, chose the best-looking heap, but when he discovered that he had been tricked, he grew very angry. Not only had Prometheus stolen the sacred fire and given it to men, he had also taught them to cheat the gods. He resolved to punish both Prometheus and his creations. Cast in unbreakable irons, Prometheus was chained to the top of the Caucasus Mountains. Every day, an eagle swooped out of the sky and ate his liver. At night, his immortal liver grew anew, but every day, the eagle returned, and he had to suffer again. Nice, huh? Thus was Prometheus punished. But Zeus found a more subtle way to punish the mortals. He sent to earth a beautiful but silly woman. Her name was Pandora. And then that leads into the story of Pandora's box. If you've ever heard that idiom, if you've opened Pandora's box, it means you've started trouble. I do have a little video of the story of Pandora, and I'll try to post it. So they say that Pandora was the human's punishment for cheating the gods, because Pandora let the evils into the world. And again, I'll think I can find that video and post it for you. If you have any questions, comment here on Classroom or shoot me an email so I can help you understand this story better.